Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to be here to talking to all of you. Today, I am Pritiman Sarkar standing in front of you to have a courageous conversation. Braving a courageous conversation itself creates a lot of change. What is the change that we want to talk about? We're going to talk about the discomfort. And why are we wanting to talk about discomfort? Discomfort does not come naturally to each one of us. Comfort comes naturally. You want to be in a cocoon. You want to be in your mother's embrace. You want to be in the warmth of life, in the joy, in the spirit, and in the ever-evolving life which gives you happiness. Discomfort creates various nuances in life which is not easily comprehensible. Now, when I was thinking that I have to speak, I said, where is the intersection of discomfort and what is the meaning of that? When we stand in that crossroad, what goes through our mind and what is it that you ask yourself? The question which you ask yourself is, why has discomfort come to me? And if you ask that question, that why has discomfort come to me, you fundamentally go back and see, God has given me this chance. I have to struggle through. And if I have to struggle through, then what happens in my life? If you look at the ever-evolving thoughts in your life, you will find that the most important saying which is there on that board, which says, you hurt where you care and you care where you are hurt. And that saying means a lot. What it means is when you are hurt, you have to care about it. And when you care about it, the discomfort vanishes. And when you actually look at life, what does life give you? Life gives you curveballs. And when curveballs come in, what happens? It's an illusion. You actually cannot play straight. So moving forward, when life throws you curveballs, what is it that you go through? You go through pain. And when you go through pain, what happens? That is where the life's journey begins, and you ask yourself a very fundamental question. The first story which I want to relate to you is embracing discomfort for personal rejuvenation. Now the question is, what is this storyline going to be? So I picked up a story from the epic Ramayana. And what I am going to relate to you now is when Kaikeyi was going through a process of putting Bharat as the king, and when she put Bharat as the king, and when she went to Ram and she said, you have to go to the forest. Ram said, this is the best opportunity I have got to do in my life because I did not want to become a king. I want to pursue my spiritual life and I wanted to move forward. What does it mean? Ram, in that situation of discomfort, picked up that life, went to the jungle to pursue what was important for him to go through. Now that rejuvenation and the spiritual change which happened with Ram is a transformational story. Now the story about me, which is what happened to me in storyline 1, and the storyline 1 was a harsh wake-up call. I still remember the day. It was one day shy of the Valentine's Day, 13th February 2019. I met with a heart attack. I got a severe call. I was sitting at home, and when I met with that heart attack, it was paining so severely that I had to drive from my home, which was 1.5 kilometers, to the hospital, and I missed 2 lanes because my heart was not pumping blood. When I entered the emergency guy told me, why you come? I said, I have come here because I've got a heartache. When he looked at the BP was running at 165 to 140. He said, I don't know how you are surviving. The moment they put me into it, they asked me, where is your attendant? I said, I am the patient, I am the attendant, and this is my credit card. It has got a limit which will take care of my life. Please address it. In next 5 minutes, because Vandana, my wife, She was not in Hyderabad. She was in Delhi. I called her up. I called my office colleagues. They come to my office, to the hospital in the next 15 minutes. I move into the cath lab, and then I get out by 12 midnight. That was a life-changing moment. When I came back and went through the recovery for 6 weeks, I could not get up from my bed to walk to my dining table to have a morsel of food. I was a high-flying executive who was flying 120 days a year and still believed that what was important in life was name, fame, designation, and moving around things. And that kind of stuck me for that 6 weeks. Pause and recreate your life. Had very tough conversations with my wife. She told me and asked me few fundamental questions. What do you want to pursue in your life? And when she asked those deep questions, I had to answer myself, not her. When she delved deep into the conversation, I realized that my yearning was to go the spiritual path. My yearning was to make sure that my health was my asset, because that is the only vehicle which I can manage. And the third thing which I had to do was I had to do more for the society at large. And when those three thoughts came into my being, what I have been able to do and what has been mentioned about me, I started writing a book. I started creating content on YouTube. I started working on my investment, and I have a very rhythmic lifestyle. That is what changed when discomfort came to me. The lesson for this first one is, when discomfort comes to you, when you look at that, convert that into an opportunity. Find out what you can do differently so that you're able to establish and move forward. And that is where the change will come and happen. Now, if we go to the next situation, what is happening in the next storyline is that we are going to address another mythological story. And this mythological story is more in terms of the Mahabharata. This storyline is responding to crisis in the face of discomfort. In Mahabharata, the Kauravas were very, very sharp and very, very difficult to manage. And what they gave Pandavas was only one piece of land, which was called the Kaurava-Pruta. So when they gave the Prastha, what the Kauravas did with them was giving a piece of arid land which had no cultivation, which had no growth, which had nothing. But what happened is the Pandavas were so good that they worked on that piece of land. They converted into a magnificent land where everything grew and cultivated, and they made it big. Now, why am I telling this story to you? I will tell you the specific date, April 23rd, 2022, peak of COVID phase 2. I got a call at 10:30 in the night from a colleague of mine. She said, I am having COVID, my husband is having COVID, and I do not have any hospital where I can take both of us. I knew some people in Gurgaon, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to help her. I could find only one bed with one oxygen cylinder, and both of them were having COVID. They did not stay here. They took an ambulance, paid a huge sum of money, and they went to Chandigarh for treatment. At 11:15 in the night, when I was having dinner, I asked myself, what can you do when so much of chaos is happening around you? What is the opportunity that you have? Basis my role, I had a huge set of team working across India, and at that time it was work from home. Fundamentally, I asked myself first question, how can I help save lives? And what is it that I will do to save lives? I called up my vice president. I told her that I want to set up a center. And she said, where do we begin? I said, I don't know. I said, open up an Excel. I'm just dictating. Create a directory of all the hospitals. Create a directory of all the hospitals with bed, oxygen cylinders, ventilators, remdesivir medicines, and everything and anything. and let us try and create a 24/7 line wherein people from our office calls in and we are able to help them. How will we help them? We will give them access to information. We will try and facilitate it. For the next 35 days, I used to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, get up at 4:30 in the morning. I was on it and we saved 166 lives in that whole movement. And that was life transforming for me because what I was thinking was what we can do differently. That opportunity came, and when that opportunity came, you took it with both the hands. You did not say that I am helpless. You told yourself that I can make a change, I can make a shift, and we will make a difference in the life. That is the second storyline that I have. The third storyline which I have for you is little different. It is my lifelong passion, and it is the lesson of discomfort. When I talk about lifelong passion, I'll just give you a small anecdote. From the childhood till today, I've been playing cricket. After going out of this session, I have to wear my cricket dress because there's a match waiting for me. And I'm being very truthful. There's a gentleman from my office who has also come in who will go along with me. But the fundamental thing which cricket has given me, and before we get into cricket, I will again take the mythological conversation of Mahabharata. I will talk about Kalyadaman. When Kalyadaman was in the water and the snake was creating so much of nuisance in the city, in the whole setup, what we could find was Sri Krishna as a child came up. And Kalya had 1,000 heads. And it was spitting venom. And it was killing people. And people were completely, did not know how to solve the problem. Sri Krishna came, he started dancing on the head of Kalya. The rhythm he created with the dance on the heads of Kalya, it was so mesmerizing that Kalya did not understand and got mesmerized and stopped spitting venom from going forward basis. So when you bring rhythm to life from discomfort, you will be able to create something. So what does it mean and how does the third story build up? The third story which builds up is cricket. What is cricket? Cricket is a very, very technical game. What it taught me from childhood till today, I am still captain. So God has been kind. I have been given that ability to lead a team. But I realized, what has cricket taught me? Actually, cricket has taught me everything which I do today. It is how to create strategic thinking, how to take situational decisions, how to create a team which will bond, how do you make sure that you win, how do you create a winning habit, and how do you build and take this conversation forward. Now, when you put all these things together, cricket will obviously push you outside your comfort zone. Cricket will create those kind of metaphors in life which you will not be easily able to accept and appreciate. What you see there as a bowler is just shy of 700 wickets and he is 44 years old. That man has been playing cricket for 22 years and it significantly tells me that if I continue to play this game, this is what I will be able to create for myself. And what came out of it is fostering leadership skill, strategic thinking, and the ability to adapt and keep changing through the situations which comes in. Now, just like cricket, life will keep throwing curveballs to you. And if life throws curveball to you, whatever you have your professional learning, whatever you have learned from the sports, and whatever you have learned for every other aspect will help you to keep yourself in steady state. Now the question goes back, what is discomfort? The discomfort which I have faced has rejuvenated me, has taken my life forward in the first event where I had a heart attack. The second event was when there was COVID, I found opportunity there to go and do greater good in the social network. And third, cricket has given me the ability to look at things in a different prism and be able to take this forward and make a difference in life. With that, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead.